Hello Mr. Nobody fans, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's actually a keynote presentation. Ooh. I have my professor glasses on, so yeah, we're going to be talking about the processes that I used to improve my health and lose all the weight I lost. And yeah, it should be, I hope, it should be a good presentation. I spent quite a while doing it, so hopefully it lets you guys try and understand some of the processes involved in improving your fitness from a psychological perspective and also from a practical perspective, because it's not just about the training and the diet. There's a lot of elements that go into contributing to that overall big picture, you know, little steps that add up. So yeah, just a disclaimer, obviously I'm not a healthcare professional, I have no problem admitting that. And so this is kind of my take and my experience from the actions that I took to improve my own well-being and health. So yeah, don't take it as gospel. If you are concerned about your well-being, consult a professional. Yeah, good luck to you. I hope you enjoy the presentation. So here it is. Okay guys, welcome to the presentation. Like I said, this is just an intro, I guess, to how I went about changing things in order to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. So lose weight, get fit, get fast on the bike, and basically generally lead a life which is healthy and would allow me to basically live as long as possible. So it's kind of like a how not to die kind of guide, but yeah. So obviously if you're here, thank you very much for staying and watching the presentation. I would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to the channel. Obviously if you're interested in mountain bike tech and lifestyle stuff, that would be awesome. So let's move on. So the presentation is called Lose Weight and Get Fit, a guide to sustainable well-being. Well, obviously, like I said, I'm not just a disclaimer, actually, I didn't say this before. Obviously I'm not a healthcare professional, and I'm not here to try and sell you like an expensive diet and training plan or anything like that. These are just insights into how I changed my behavior to achieve what it was that I wanted to achieve. And I think this, if you're in a position if you're in the position that I was in, you know, a couple of years ago, then I think this would be maybe a helpful document for you to watch and listen to. So how my journey began. Well, from 2015 to 2018, I suffered from quite severe depression and anxiety. I had severe weight fluctuation and obesity. I was always generally quite fit when I was younger because I cycled a lot. But then when I started driving, I kind of started putting on weight, and then my diet changed and I became lazy and I got bigger and bigger. And my weight was always fluctuating. I'd actually lost a considerable amount of weight before, and then just put it back on, and then lost it again and put it back on. So that took me up to the end of year 2018, where I was 100 kilos, believe it or not. So that's quite heavy for someone of my height. So I was technically actually obese. Yeah. Bad diet and high alcohol consumption. Obviously those are things that don't go well together, especially the high alcohol consumption, because that leads to severe pains and fatigue, preventing exercise. Basically the inflammation caused by the alcohol wasn't allowing me to heal quickly enough and recover from the exercises that I was trying to do. So it took me like a week to recover from a 5k run. It was just getting ridiculous. On top of that, I had a vitamin D deficiency, which was quite bad. So I had to start supplementing vitamin D, which helped a bit, as well as the medication for the depression and anxiety. So what happened? What made me decide to change? Someone online actually called me a fat cunt, believe it or not. And that was the New Year's, I think it was the 31st of December. It was New Year's Eve, 2018. And yeah, someone online called me a fat cunt, and I got quite upset. And I was like, well, actually, do you know what? I could just sit here feeling sorry for myself eating cookies, or I can do something about it. So that day, that night I decided I was basically going to go on a regime, like a brutal savage regime, to lose weight and get fit again, because I wanted to lead an active lifestyle. I'd always been active. When I was a kid, I used to skimboard, which is what I'm doing in this picture here. I used to ride BMX, I used to skate, I used to do all sorts of stuff, and because of this extra weight that I was carrying, it was incredibly painful, and actually my coordination was all off, so it wasn't enjoyable at all. I wanted to be healthy. Obviously, being healthy is important these days, especially during periods and times like these where lockdown are, are imposed on us and things like that. And obviously I wanted to be happy, because who doesn't want to be happy? Come on. But obviously, when you're not comfortable in your skin, it's very difficult to find confidence and comfort in yourself. So I wasn't very happy, I suppose, and I wanted to be happy. So what did I do about it? What did I do? I harnessed the negativity, first of all, because you're always going to find people in your life that come in and out, and some of them can be negative, some of them can be a bit of a draw on your energy levels. So I tried to turn the negative comments and bullying into energy, drive and focus. Basically, because if you can harness the anger that you feel towards these people, or the upset, the negative emotion, turn it into energy to work out, you've basically tapped into a resource which is limitless. And don't let other people undermine your well-being, and focus on your targets. Like I said, use that negative energy to set targets and focus on your well-being, and don't ever compare yourself to anybody but who you were yesterday. There's a saying, what was the saying? It's comparison is the death of joy. I don't remember who said that, but I heard it and I felt, do you know what, actually that's really very relevant to what's happening today with social media affecting so many people's minds, because you're looking at a screen, comparing, and you instantly compare yourself to who's on the screen, in some cases. And so, I don't think people should be doing that. They should be focusing more on themselves and who they are and their own objectives and targets. So that's part one. Part two, I made some lifestyle changes. This is going to be quite difficult for a lot of people, because I think, social media is such a big part of our lives. But the suggestion there is to reduce, or even better, deactivate social media accounts. I deactivated my Facebook. I think it was on the 1st of January of 2019. It might have been a little bit later, and I basically didn't look at it for over a year, I think. It was a long time. I just did not use it. And you know what? I found that I had so much more free time, because my screen time was ridiculous. Like I was constantly looking at my phone when I got home, like all the time. And once I stopped looking at my phone and browsing on Facebook and doing things like that, I suddenly found that I just had all this free time that I could use and invest in exercising or walking or doing things with my friends, or things with my wife, but generally it meant that I could work out and actually had more time to organise activities for myself. Start cooking using fresh ingredients from scratch. Now that's quite important, because a lot of the food that you find on the shelves in supermarkets is not really meant to be good. I mean, I know it has the recommended daily allowances and stuff like that. You're honestly just better off cooking from scratch. Just buy raw ingredients, chop them up and do what you want. In the picture there you've got some fried eggs, a piece of brown toast, some mushrooms, spinach and some olives. That's quite a simple meal that I like to make for myself, on a Saturday morning. It's a good breakfast. It's rich in nutrients, and it's a good mood lifter, because it's really flavoursome. If you really like food like me, you really should be cooking from scratch, and it's not hard. I generally go with like a Mediterranean diet, because I was born in Italy, so it only makes sense for me to eat the food that I would naturally be eating in my normal habitat. I moved out here when I was 13, so my body was adapted to a Mediterranean diet, and I think that's probably part of why I put on so much weight as well, because the diet here is so drastically different and based on processed food that it really did affect my my weight quite a lot, and also my mood. Next point is no processed foods or sugars. Now, everybody likes chocolate, everybody likes cookies, but you got to get off that sugar. The processed sugar, it's not good for you, mate, because when you exercise, it actually acts as an inflammatory component, and it adds inflammation to you. So if you really do want sugar, just eat a banana, eat some fruit, all right? Just pick up some fruit and eat some fruit. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what you eat, as long as you know it's tailored for you and it's actually fresh food. The next point is reduce or stop alcohol intake. I stopped drinking teetotal for... It's only recently I started having a bit of a drink again. But even then, it's non-alcoholic beer. So there's just no alcohol in it at all. But basically, again, it's just to reduce that inflammation post-exercise, and also it will save you a lot of money, because I tell you what, if you get into mountain biking, you're going to need some money for spares and to buy the bikes in the first place, and actually the gear that is needed. That's gonna be your new hobby, spending money on your hobby. And the next point is quite hard for a lot of people, but you got to lose toxic friends and relationships. There's people in our lives that just don't, and maybe they don't even mean to do it, but they just don't want to see you succeed. And those are the people that you need to get rid of. You know, the friend that's like, "No, don't go running, mate. Come out with me. Come and have a smoke. Come and have a drink. Oh, what are you doing that for, you dickhead?" Oh, that kind of person, just lose them. They're just going to hold you back, and they're going to criticize you, and they're going to criticize your progress, probably because they have some sort of insecurity themselves. So just get rid of any kind of toxic individual in your friend and family pool that could stunt your progress. You gotta be really strong and independent about your decision making when it comes to your well-being. So don't listen to other people other than themselves. Don't listen to anybody but yourself. Unless they're a healthcare professional, of course, in which case you probably should take a cue from them, or your personal trainer if you have one. Next slide, please. Point 3, I planned a fitness routine based on what I wanted to achieve. It was a bit of a crash course with a steep learning curve, because I was so big and overweight. It was actually really difficult to run without my knees being in absolute agony, and it took a bit of adaptation to get past that, but eventually we got there. So I started running in my local park run. I know it sounds like a big deal, it's like a big social thing. It is a social event. A lot of people go there to see friends and run together, but you know, if you're embarrassed about your body shape, don't be, mate, because a lot of people there are in the same boat as you, and no one's looking around judging other people. The fact that you're there is good enough. You know, it's not a race. It's not, racing against other people. You're basically racing. It's you against you. You know, you're racing yourself week on week, trying to improve the time, trying to lose a little bit more weight, trying to get a little bit faster, improve your running technique, etc., etc. So that is a great way to start a new routine. Every Saturday morning, get up, be there for 9, and start running. Obviously, during lockdown, it's different because they've stopped doing park run, but once they resume, you can start doing that again. Or you could just go by yourself and find out what the park run route is and just run it yourself. You'll find other people on the way, but as long as you're socially distanced, it's not a problem. You just gotta start something new, and the first part of it is getting up and just going there. And then even if you run a kilometer and run the rest, if you run a kilometer and walk the rest, it doesn't matter. You've done something that you wouldn't have usually done had it been a normal day in your previous life. I started cycling to work, so I grabbed the mountain bike and just started doing miles, commuting, which added to about 10 kilometers a day. Not a lot, but once I got past the threshold of my fitness being really bad and it started improving on my fitness, I found that I was able to cover more, either the same distance quicker, or more distance. So I started also going out at the weekends, and at the moment I'm covering 200 kilometers on average a week, and that's just training indoors and mountain biking for fun at the weekends. Another key to success is surrounded myself with people who also wanted to improve themselves. So I have a little group of friends of mountain bikers and people who run, people who I talk to that are also on the same boat as me, who want to lose a bit of weight or want to become better, want to eat healthy. Just a different social group, and people who have, and surround yourself with people who have experience in the matter. You know, you might find a person who's dropped 50 pounds, you know, like 23 kilos in the last 3 years, who can give you some tips as to how they've done it, you know, because I know it's a big step, and you kind of feel like you're going into the unknown when you do this kind of stuff, because you're making a massive adjustment to your lifestyle. So it's always good to surround yourself with people who also want to improve themselves, and also want the best for you as well, because that's important. You know, you got to have someone in your family or in your friends that wants to see you succeed, and that's always a good motivator as well. You know, the enthusiastic grandmother that always says, "Oh, you know, go get some," and helps you, and, you know, really praises you when you come back from a run, regardless of what distance you've done. That's important. I set myself realistic targets. Set targets which are easily within reach, so that you do not fail and spiral back into bad habits. I know that some people overreach and they set themselves targets which are far too unrealistic. I was one of those people as well, but you got to realize that there's no easy way of doing this. You got to just follow the process and trust that changes will begin to happen, and it will be an incremental phase. In the beginning it will be difficult, you won't see much change, and then suddenly in the mid period you'll gain, you know, strength, fitness, you'll lose weight quite reasonably quickly, and you'll suddenly see all these improvements week on week, and you'll get addicted to that. You got to monitor your well-being and adjust accordingly, because obviously if you injure yourself, you're going to maybe taper things back a little bit and rethink your strategy, in the sense that if you went at it a bit too hard, maybe your body wasn't quite ready to take that load. So just taper it back a little bit, and just look after yourself and make sure you stretch and things like that as well, because that's going to be an important part of your fitness routine. Persevere even if it does not seem like you're making progress. Like I said before, week on week you're going to see small changes, but those small changes all add up to the bigger picture. So if you do these small changes week on week for, you know, 365 days of the year, at the end of the year you're going to see a massive difference compared to where you were at the beginning. And the last point is, don't waste time looking for shortcuts. There aren't any. You got to put in the work. There's no point in looking for six-pack shortcuts, because this is not what this is about. This guide is not on how to get yourself a six-pack. And technically everybody's got a six-pack, yeah, biologically everybody's got a six-pack. It might just have a little layer of fat on it, but it's there, so it doesn't matter. There's no shortcuts to gaining, you know, muscle. There's no shortcuts to losing weight. There's no point in doing these ridiculous crash diets, because it's not sustainable. You need to find a way to lose weight sustainably, in a way which is healthy and doesn't put your health at risk, and in a way that also keeps you happy, because you've got to be happy in what you're doing. If you find yourself doing a crash diet with some ridiculous training routine and you're absolutely miserable, then probably you're not going the right way about it. You have to have joy. There has to be joy in the movement of the body, in order to be successful, I think. And that's my opinion anyway. So what are the results? Between January 2019 and December 2020, I lost 23 kilos of fat and gained lean muscle mass. So as I said, I was 100 kilos and now I'm down to 78. So I lost 23 kilos, which is 50 pounds for you Americans or people who love the imperial measurement scale. Yeah, the weight loss was probably the most, I guess, important thing in the change of my body. Basically, I went down like 4 inches on waist size so almost 2 years. So no, it's literally 2 years now. Because I'm recording this on the 9th of January, so I started parkrun on the 8th of January 2019. So it's literally been 2 years. Obviously, you'd expect to see a bit more weight loss, but if you take into consideration that I've been doing huge amounts of weight training, compound exercise training, and cycling training, I've put on a lot of muscle as well. So I got stronger. The routine I've been following for 2 years built muscle and resistance into my body, allowed me to go harder for longer during cycle rides, constantly improving my PRs. So I've become a bit of a menace on the bike, and I've been, obviously there's no competitions and no racing this year, but the whole intention is that I'm going to enter some enduro races or maybe cross-country races on the mountain bike soon, hopefully this year, maybe not, or if not next year. Either way, I'd like to do the South Downs Way, which is 170 kilometres, 100-mile bike ride from Winchester to Eastbourne along the hills. So I've been kind of training for that, and basically it's all about, for me it was all about getting my body into a position where it could sustain elevated levels of exercise, and mountain biking for me is my sport. That's it, like I said, the weight loss kind of comes as part of the lifestyle change, and it's all integral. It's not just exercise and diet. The two, or diet even, the two go hand in hand. They have to complement each other. You have to eat to fuel your body to be able to exercise and perform, and then also heal itself. Because if you eat rubbish food, you're not gonna get stronger. You're just gonna do more damage to your body, and you're gonna hurt yourself, and you're gonna spend more time trying to repair the damage done than actually exercising and losing weight. So it's a vicious circle. You've got to be really careful about how you go about it. And like I said, it's a full-on lifestyle change. It's not just, I can keep things the same and just expect my body to change. No, you have to completely change your lifestyle, as per the points I explained before. Next slide. I'm more disciplined. Consistent, clean diet and regular exercise strengthen the routine in such a way that now it is a way of life. So I think the saying is it takes 28 days to create a habit. Well, unfortunately, it's much easier to create bad habits than it is good ones, because good things generally come at it's a higher price to pay initially, because it requires more energy to do the right thing. You have to, sometimes you have to choose the hard way to achieve the goals that you want to do. There's, like I said before, there's no shortcuts, there's no cheating. You can't just go on the highway doing the least amount of work possible and expect changes to happen overnight. That's not how it works. You've got to basically embrace the suffering, embrace the pain, and just realize that this is a process, and it will get easier over time, because you will develop calluses in your brain and your mind will become stronger. A bit like when you work with hand tools and you get calluses on your fingers. It's the same thing for your brain. The more you do it, the more accustomed you become to it. And it just becomes easier and easier over time. I started taking cold showers in January. I don't have hot showers anymore. I have cold showers, and in the beginning it was pure suffering. Like, it was really difficult to just sit under the cold water, but with time I became more disciplined, learned to breathe, learned to accept that the cold water was doing good to my body, and I started taking cold baths as well. Obviously, it's a bit of an extreme mindset to have, but it saves the bills, saves money on hot water, and it's good for your circadian rhythm, and it's a good wake up mechanism in the morning, because it sets off your fight or flight response a little bit, and you feel energetic and ready to go. I'm happier So getting back in shape and finding activities I enjoy doing, as well as leading a healthy lifestyle in general, has made me much happier and a better husband. I was quite miserable when I was fat, and it was because I didn't like who I was. So I feel much better now. I'm more comfortable, more confident. I feel like I could do anything I set my mind to. You know, it's that much of a game changer. When you achieve these kind of goals, it sets off something in your brain, and you think, right, what's the next challenge? What can I do next to push my body, to push my mind, to push myself? You know, and people take notice of this. It's been a huge journey for me personally. But as I've seen on Instagram, I've had a message from a couple of people. One was my wedding photographer in St. Lucia, who was inspired by my Instagram stories of me mountain biking. So he got his bike out of the shed and started cycling. Found a whole group of people in St. Lucia that were cyclists, and now he's a mountain biker. And to me, you know, I don't do this to get paid. I don't do this for anything other than, you know, my well-being and trying to help others. And to me, that's the best compliment ever, that someone was inspired to grab a bike and go about their day cycling and meeting other people. And that's the best present anybody could have ever given to me. And also another friend of mine started cycling because they liked the videos, so I helped them get set up on a bike, and now they're a mountain biker and they love it. So again, you know, same thing. I couldn't have asked for better feedback than that. So those are the results. So in summary, I'm no longer on medication for mental health issues. I stopped taking my sertraline, which in America I think is called Zoloft or something. It was a low dose, 25 milligrams. I stopped taking that last September. So I've been off it for, I don't even know how long now. So September, so far about 5 months, I reckon. Maybe a bit longer than that. Weight under control and improving. Balanced and plentiful fresh food diet. Pains and fatigue gone. Actually, I haven't been on medication for over a year. I just remembered, I just got confused. Lockdown's really mixing up my my dates. So it was last September. So September 2019 that I came off it completely. So yeah, no longer on medication for mental health issues. Weight under control and always improving. Balanced and plentiful fresh food diet. Pains and fatigue gone. So, you know, the key there really is I'm no longer on medication and the pains and the fatigue are gone. The only supplement I've ever taken is vitamin D, simply because I don't get enough sun in the UK, and I was born in a relatively warm country with a lot of sun. I think the main components of this kind of success story, if you want to call it that, are the diet and basically doing something about my mental health, and the rest kind of fell into place with just being able to exercise and then being able to increase the volume of exercise over time in a safe way. That's the important bit, in a safe way, because otherwise if you go at it too hard in the beginning, you're going to injure yourself, and then that's going to, you know, put a downer on your day, and you're not going to see progress, and it's going to make you think, well, what's the point, you know? So remember, do things in a controlled manner. Don't compare yourself to someone else, because comparison is the death of joy. And also, you know, you got to get rid of the negative people in your life who sap the energy out of you or just don't want you to succeed. So with the summary done, the next slide is, this is my good friend Andy Tate. Obviously, I'm not here to sell you a plan for fitness and diet, because I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not a trainer. I'm not trained on the subject. All the previous slides were basically just ideas to get you thinking about how you can change your lifestyle. But if you do need someone to help you along the way, if you want to talk to someone about this, about diets or about fitness exercises or about your targets even, you know, say you want to lose some weight, then I highly recommend Andy, because he's been a good friend of mine for, I don't know, about 20 years. I've known him since I started school in the UK. and he is open for free consultations now. He's open. Sorry, Andy, I messed that one up. But he's an established personal trainer. He's a really funny guy, you know, down to earth, honest. And that, I think that's one of the most important things. He's been very helpful to me in the past with advice. Like I said, he's open for free consultations now. His Instagram is at Coach Taters. His website is www.coachtaters.com. And his email is andy@coachtaters.com. So again, if you need any kind of advice, Andy, I believe, is the person for you, because he's down to earth. He has a really funny approach to his social media. He just says it how it is, without any kind of the bullshit sales or marketing, that kind of stuff. You know, I trust that he'll look after you. So that's why this slide is here. It's because I believe in him and I believe in his business model. And, you know, in times like these, it's hard to, you know, get business done anyway. So I just want to do my bit to help a friend out, and hopefully, yeah, it'll help you achieve your targets and goals. So with that said, this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, obviously like and subscribe, and check out Andy on social media, email him, check out his website, and drop him a line if you're interested, or if you need help figuring out what you want to do and how to do it. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and love you all. Happy New Year. Okay guys, that was the presentation. As I said, I hope you're having a great year despite the crazy week we've had. We're currently in lockdown 3. So yeah, if you like the presentation, please like and subscribe. Share the video with people who you think might benefit from it. That would be awesome. And yeah, I hope you get out there, you know, try and pursue your goals and achieve your goals, and start mountain biking, running, skating, whatever it is that you want to do, just get out there and do it, and you'll definitely see some benefits in your own life for it. So again, thank you for watching, and like and subscribe, and stay awesome. See ya.